crew on the bridge were at first bemused, then alarmed. Those aboard the boats were brandishing assault rifles and rocket-propelled grenade launchers, RPGs. It must have taken the bridge crew a couple of heartbeats to realize they were under attack by pirates. Although there had been some incidents in the previous months, they had taken place much nearer to the shore and only targeted smaller local vessels, not a state-of-the-art Western cruise ship. That pirates would attack such a vessel was completely unheard of. Surprised or not, Captain Sven-Erik Petersen wasted no time in sounding the alarm and increasing the speed of the seaborne Spirit. His plan was to outrun and outmaneuver the two tiny 7-meter fiberglass boats, and maybe even to ram and capsize one of them. The ship's security team, alerted by the alarm, immediately jumped into action. Michael Groves, a former police officer, engaged the approaching and wildly firing pirates with a high-pressure hose in the hope of swamping their vessels, while the master-at-arms, the former Gurkha soldier, Som Bahadur, manned the ship's sonic gun, emitting an ear-piercing high-frequency sound that discouraged the attackers from coming too near. The combination of evasive maneuvers, high-pressure hose, and sonic gun turned out to be enough to shake off the pirates, who vanished into the early morning mist. Except for Som Bahadur, who suffered minor shrapnel injuries, no one else was hurt, even though one of the RPGs actually penetrated the ship's hull, damaging a stateroom. Another round had harmlessly bounced off the stern. All in all, what might have turned into a prolonged hostage crisis ended in a lucky escape for the vessel itself, its crew, and its passengers. Mainly for security reasons, the ship proceeded to Port Victoria straight away, instead of calling at Mombasa as originally planned. From there, it sailed on to Singapore, arriving right on schedule, where the passengers disembarked with quite a story to tell. In the following years, the international community would grow used to such brazen acts of Somali piracy. In November 2005, however, this incident was so out of the ordinary that many observers, including Anthony Downer, then Australian Foreign Minister, hesitated to call it piracy. For them, it was more likely that the attack was intended as an act of maritime terrorism, perhaps carried out by Al-Qaeda. How on earth could two teams of 4 pirates ever hope to hijack a modern 134-meter ship with several hundred people on board? 8 men would never have been able to keep all of them under control, they argued. Only gradually did the reality sink in that, yes, this had been a pirate attack, and that no, hard-nosed Somali pirates armed with assault rifles and RPGs would not hesitate to try to kidnap dozens or even hundreds of easily intimidated and mostly unarmed passengers and crew members. From then on, the fictitious pirates of the Caribbean really had to do battle with the real-life pirates of Somalia in order to capture the headlines and the good ship popular imagination. Some of the Somali pirates' audacious operations even made it onto the big screen. The botched hijacking of the US-flagged container ship MV Maersk Alabama was turned into the 2013 blockbuster movie Captain Phillips, starring Tom Hanks. In April 2009, the Maersk Alabama was carrying food aid designed for famine-blighted Somalia. Due to the dire security situation in most of Somalia's own ports, it was headed for the Kenyan port of Mombasa, which still meant the ship had to sail straight through the pirate-haunted waters around the Somali coastline. And, indeed, on the 8th of April, about 240 nautical miles off the coast of the semi-autonomous Somalian province of Puntland, a skiff with 4 armed men approached the slow-sailing vessel. Like the crew of the Seaborne Spirit, those on the Maersk Alabama's bridge took evasive measures in an attempt to outmaneuver the pirates and to prevent them from boarding. Although they managed to flood the pirate skiff, the Somalis made it aboard ship. The crew fell back on a second line of defense in the shape of a citadel, something like the panic rooms found in some upmarket apartments, to which they could withdraw and from which help could be summoned and the ship controlled. Once more, however, the Maersk Alabama's men were not in luck. Although most of the all-American crew managed to reach this citadel in time, the vessel's master, Captain Richard Phillips, and assistant technical manager Zahid Reza were surprised by the pirates and taken hostage. Amazingly, Captain Phillips's crew also managed to take a hostage, no less than the leader of the pirate gang himself, whom Zahid Reza had been forced to show around the ship, and who was overwhelmed by Chief Engineer Perry outside the engine room. A dramatic standoff then unfolded. On the one side, the remaining 3 pirates with their hostage, Captain Phillips. On the other, the 19 American crew members, with the pirates' leader as their captain.